Good morning everyone. Now the next part, that's part 5 of the lesson, aldehyde and ketone and carboxylic acid, is the chemical property. That is the nucleophilic addition. We are doing the nucleophilic addition reaction. So under this heading, the next heading is addition of sodium, hydrogen sulfide. Addition of sodium, hydrogen sulfide. So sodium hydrogen sulfide, when we add the sodium hydrogen sulfide, so first of all write down the formula for the sodium hydrogen sulfide, that is Na, stand for the sodium, H, and what is the formula of sulfide? That is SO3. So this one is sodium hydrogen sulfide. So sodium hydrogen sulfide adds to aldehyde and ketone to form a addition product. Okay, when we add this one compound to the aldehyde or the ketone, we get the addition product, and the position of the equilibrium lies largely to the right hand side for the most of the aldehyde and left hand side to most of the ketone. Why? Because of the steric reason. The reason is steric. Okay, so the hydrogen sulfide addition compound is water soluble and can be converted back to the original carbonyl compound. Okay, so how this reaction takes place? Let's start with the reaction. For example, this is the carbonyl group. Okay, this is the carbonyl group. So this is a carbonyl group, means we are talking about the aldehyde as well as the ketone. Clear? So this stands for, maybe it may be aldehyde or it may be ketone. So when it is combined with NaHSO3, what is NaHSO3? It is a sodium hydrogen sulfide. Clear? When it reacts with sodium hydrogen sulfide, we get, this is the position, here we have SO3H and here we have ONA. Clear? So this is the addition product. This one is the addition product. Now in the next step, the proton transfer. The proton transfer takes place and at last we get, this is SO3Na and here we have OH. Okay, what is the meaning of proton transfer? Here the meaning of the proton is this H plus ion. So transfer of this H plus ion takes place. So this H plus ion combined with this hydrogen and this Na goes with that SO3Na. Okay, with that SO3. So this is the bisulfide. This is the bisulfide addition compound. Clear? This is the bisulfide addition compound. So the hydrogen sulfide addition compound, it is soluble in water. This compound is soluble in water and it can be converted back to the original carbonyl compound. This is the original carbonyl compound when it is treated with dilute mineral acids or it is treated with alkalis. Alkali means we are talking about the NaOH, that is alkali, KOH, that is alkali. Okay, therefore these are useful for the separation and purification of the aldehyde. Clear? Now the next addition is, that is called addition of alcohols. Okay, addition of alcohol. So what happens in case of alcohol? Means the addition of alcohol takes place to the aldehyde and the ketone. For example, we have RCHO. CHO means we are talking about the aldehyde. Okay? When it is treated with alcohol, okay, in presence of HCl gas. Clear? So aldehyde react with one equivalent monohydric alcohol. Why it is a monohydric? Because only one OH group is present here. That's why it is known as the monohydric. Clear? So when the aldehyde react with monohydric alcohol in presence of dry hydrogen chloride, so it gives alkoxy alcohol intermediate. It gives alkoxy alcohol intermediate, and that alkoxy alcohol intermediate is known as the hemiacetal. It is called hemiacetals. So how the hemiacetal form? What is the formula for the hemiacetal? That is RCH. Okay. Now this OR group is attached here, and here we have OH. So this is the hemiacetal. This is the hemiacetal. Now after that, this hemiacetal further react with one molecule of alcohol, that is ROH. This further react with one molecule of alcohol to give a gem dialkoxy compound. It gives a gem dialkoxy compound. Clear? And that gem dialkoxy compound is known as acetal. It is called acetal. So what is the formula for the acetal? That is RCH. This is OR dash. Clear? That is OR dash. So this is the formula for the acetal, and this is the formula for the hemiacetal. Clear? So this is the reaction with the aldehyde. Now let's check the reaction with the ketone, how the ketone react with alcohol and HCl. So what happen in case of ketone? So this is any ketone. Clear? When it react with CH2OH, CH2OH. So ketone react with ethylene glycol. Its name is ethylene glycol. Clear? Its name CH2OH, CH2OH. It is ethylene glycol. So ketone react with ethylene glycol under similar condition, means under this condition. The condition is similar. Clear? Under similar condition to form a cyclic product. It gives, when it react with, when they both are react, we get a cyclic product, and that cyclic product is known as ethylene glycol ketones. That cyclic product is called ethylene glycol ketones. Clear? That is HCl gas dilute HCl. Dilute HCl. Then we get a cyclic product, that is R. Okay. See. So this double bond splits. We get O. Here O. Then we have CH2. Then plus removal of water molecule. So this is called ethylene glycol ketone. This is called ethylene glycol ketone. And dry hydrogen chloride protonates the oxygen of the carbonyl compound, and therefore increases the electrophilicity of the carbonyl carbon. Okay, electrophilicity of the carbonyl carbon, facilitating the nucleophilic attack of the ethylene glycol. Clear? So acetals and the ketal. This is the acetal and this one is the ketal. Acetal and ketal are hydrolyzed with the aqueous mineral acids. Aqueous mineral acid to give the corresponding aldehyde and the ketone. Clear? When they both are hydrolyzed, we get aldehyde from this one and ketone from this one. So this is the way how the addition of the alcohol takes place. Now the next and the last addition is, that is addition of ammonia. Okay, and its derivatives. Addition of ammonia and its derivatives. So a nucleophile such as ammonia and its derivative. Okay, we are talking about the ammonia or its derivative. For example, the derivative is H2NZ. This one is any derivative. When it is added to the carbonyl group of aldehyde and ketone, the reaction is reversible. The reaction is reversible, and that reaction is catalyzed by the acid. That reaction is catalyzed by the acid. Okay, let's take the example. Okay, this is the carbonyl group when H2 and Z. This is the any derivative of ammonia when they both combine. Okay, we have C. This one is OH and that is NHZ. Clear? So we have C, that is double bond N, that is Z plus H2O. So the equilibrium favors the product formation due to the rapid dehydration. Why the dehydration? Why we use the term dehydration? Because here the removal of water takes place. Okay. So due to the rapid dehydration of the intermediate to form this one. To form this compound. Okay, so this is the way how the carbonyl group react with ammonia or with the derivative of the ammonia. Clear? So now the next one chemical property is reduction. This is the next chemical property, and this property is known as the reduction. So reduction means removal. Okay, removal of oxygen. Reduction means removal of oxygen, or we can say that the addition of hydrogen is also known as the reduction. So under this heading, the first one is reduction to alcohols. Reduction to alcohols. So aldehyde and ketone are reduced to the primary alcohol as well as secondary alcohol by the sodium borohydride or a reducing agent, that is LiAlH4, that is the lithium aluminum hydride, or sodium boro, that is BH4, sodium borohydride. So these are the two very important reducing agent and very strong reducing agent. Okay, so and that as well as by the catalytic hydrogenation. Catalytic hydrogenation means hydrogenation takes place but in presence of what? In presence of catalyst. That is known as the catalytic hydrogenation. Okay? Now the next point of the reduction is reduction to hydrocarbons. That is the reduction to hydrocarbons. So the carbonyl group of aldehyde and the ketone is reduced to CH2 group. It is reduced to CH2 group on treatment with ZnHg. What is ZnHg? Zn is the zinc, Hg it is called the zinc amalgam. It is called zinc mercury. Hg stands for the mercury, and the compound of the mercury is known as the amalgam. Okay, so zinc amalgam and with the concentrated HCl. Okay, and this is a special kind of a reaction, a special kind of a reduction. It is a naming reaction, and it is known as Clemmensen reduction. It is called Clemmensen reduction. Okay, or it is also this reduction also takes place with the hydrazine followed by heating sodium or potassium hydroxide in high boiling solvent, and that high boiling solvent is ethylene glycol. And when we are using the high boiling solvent, that time the reaction is termed as a Wolff-Kishner reduction. That is called the Wolff-Kishner reduction. There are two types of reduction. They both are very important. Okay, so let's start with this one, Clemmensen reduction. What happened in Clemmensen reduction? This is the carbonyl group when it is treated with zinc amalgam in with hydrochloric acid, and that hydrochloric acid is the concentrated hydrochloric acid, we get CH2 plus H2. Okay, this one is the Clemmensen reduction. This is the Clemmensen reduction. What happened in the Wolff-Kishner reaction? That is C double bond O. It takes place, the reaction takes place with the hydrazine. This reaction takes place with the hydrazine. Okay, what is the formula of hydrazine? NH2, NH2. This is the formula of the hydrogen minus H2O. Means we have to remove the water molecule. Then we have C, that is N, NH2. Okay, that is KOH in presence of ethylene glycol. Then we have CH2 plus N2, and that is, this reaction is known as the Wolff-Kishner reduction. These both are the reduction takes place. Reduction, removal of the oxygen takes place. In both the cases, removal of the oxygen takes place and addition of the hydrogen takes place. That's why it is known as the reduction. Okay, that is called the reduction. Now the next property is oxidation. What is the meaning of oxidation? Oxidation means addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. So aldehyde differ from ketone in their oxidation reaction. There is a difference between aldehyde and ketone because of the oxidation reaction. Aldehyde are easily oxidized to carboxylic acid. Aldehydes are easily oxidized to COH. What is COH? That is a carboxylic acid. On treatment with common oxidizing agent, and common oxidizing agent are nitric acid, potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate. Potassium permanganate means KMnO4, potassium dichromate means K2Cr2O7. Clear? So even mild oxidizing agent, mainly that is the Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent. It is a mild oxidizing agent. Tollens reagent is a mild oxidizing agent. Clear? And one more is, that is the Fehling solution. Fehling's reagent or Fehling solution. They are also used for oxidation of aldehyde. They are also used for the oxidation of aldehyde. That is the, you have RCHO. This one is aldehyde. What happened? Oxidation takes place, means addition of oxygen takes place, and it is converted into carboxylic acid. That is RCOH is the carboxylic acid. And if we were talking about the ketone, so ketones are generally oxidized under the vigorous condition. Ketones are oxidized but under the vigorous condition. And what is that vigorous condition? Ketones for ketones. Okay, vigorous condition means we need strong oxidizing agent. We need strong oxidizing agent plus elevated temperature. Their oxidation involves carbon-carbon bond cleavage to afford a mixture of carboxylic acid having lesser number of carbon atom than the parent ketone. How the reaction takes place? Let's see. For example, we have RCH2, C double bond O, then CH2 R dash. Okay. Now this is 1, this is 2, 3. We have 3 carbon atom. Now what happened? When the oxidation takes place, first of all the cleavage takes place. Cleavage means breakdown. So cleavage takes place from here and here also. So we have mixture of carboxylic acid. First is the RCOOH and next one is the R dash CH2COOH. Okay, first product is this one. And the second product is RCH2COOH plus R dash COOH. How we get the two different products? This product we get by cleavage. What is the meaning of cleavage? Breakdown of C1 and C2 bond. and this product we get from the cleavage of C2 and C3 bond. C2 and C3 bond. So we get a mixture. We get a mixture of the carboxylic acid. Okay. So the mild oxidizing agent given below are used to distinguish aldehyde and ketone. Okay. So distinguish. How you distinguish between aldehyde and ketone? How you distinguish between aldehyde and ketone? So the first one is the Tollens test. So when the aldehyde is warmed with the freshly prepared ammoniacal silver nitrate solution, ammoniacal silver nitrate solution, and that ammoniacal silver nitrate solution is known as the Tollens reagent. Okay, it is known as the Tollens reagent. A bright silver mirror. A bright silver mirror is produced due to the formation of the silver metal. Clear? So the aldehyde are oxidized to corresponding carboxylate anion, and the reaction occur in the alkaline medium. Clear? It means the Tollens reagent gives result. This Tollens reagent gives result with the aldehyde only. With the aldehyde only. So this is the reaction, plus that is 2Ag NH3 whole 2. Okay, this is the Tollens reagent. This is a formula for the Tollens reagent. Clear? That is 3O minus H. We get RCO. That is the carboxylate ion. This one is the carboxylate ion, plus 2Ag plus H2O plus that is 4NH3 ammonia. So because of the formation of this silver metal, we get a bright silver mirror on the side of the test tube. On the side of the test tube. Clear? So aldehyde always give the result with the Tollens reagent. Okay. But not with the ketone. The Tollens reagent doesn't give any result with the ketone. It gives only result with the aldehyde only. Okay. Now the next reaction is, next test is known as the Fallings test. Next test is called the Fallings test. So a Falling reagent comprises of two solutions. So we have two type of a Falling solution. First is Falling solution A and the second is Falling solution B. We have two type of a Falling solution, A and B. So Falling solution A is the aqueous CuSO4 solution. It is an aqueous copper sulfate solution, whereas the Falling solution B is this one is the alkaline sodium potassium tartrate. Okay, this is the alkaline sodium potassium tartrate. So these two solutions, Falling solution A and the Falling solution B, these two solutions are mixed in the equal amount before test. So on heating an aldehyde with the Falling reagent, a reddish brown PPT is obtained. We get a reddish brown PPT. So aldehyde are oxidized to the corresponding carboxylate anion, and aromatic aldehyde do not respond to this test. So for this test we required only the aliphatic aldehyde, not with the aromatic aldehyde. Means benzaldehyde doesn't give the test with the Falling solution. So what is the reaction? RCHO, okay, 2Cu2 plus 5OL. It is a very important reaction. So we get the minus, that is a carboxylate ion. This one is the reaction is here, RCOO. So that is Cu2O plus 3H2O. So this one is the red brown PPT. This one is the red brown PPT. So with this, that is the reaction with the Fehling solution, and that is called the Fehling test. Okay, with this we have completed these two tests. First is the Tollens reagent test and the second one is the Fehling test. Okay, thank you.